He thought it was just another job, one call, one favor, one paycheck. A woman's ex wanted her back, and he was just the person hired to make her jealous. But what started as a plan turned into something no one expected. The man they used was not meant to feel, care, or fall in love. Now, he's trapped between a love he never saw coming and a truth the world never wanted him to tell. How far would you go for love that was never meant to exist? He wasn't looking for trouble, just a way to pay the bills. Marcus worked 2 jobs, kept his head down, and stayed out of other people's business. He knew how quickly the world judged men like him, black, quiet, and ambitious in a city that never seemed to forgive success that didn't come from the right skin. So when a wealthy man approached him with an effortless offer, pretend to date his ex to make her jealous, it felt harmless enough. Money for a few photos, a few outings, nothing more. But from the moment Marcus met her, something shifted. Her eyes didn't see him the way others did. She saw him. And that terrified them both because in their world, love like that wasn't meant to happen. At first, it was supposed to be simple. Dinners, smiles, and a few staged photos for social media. Marcus played his role well, never crossing lines. But as days turned into weeks, the line blurred. She laughed at his jokes, asked about his life, and listened when no one else ever did. For the first time in a long while, Marcus felt seen. Not as someone's employee, not as a stereotype, but as a man worth knowing. But in their world, being seen came with a price. Her name was Emily, a woman from the kind of neighborhood where people spoke softly but judged loudly. When her friends saw her with Marcus, their smiles turned sharp. "He's just part of your phase," one whispered. Another said, "Be careful. People might talk." It started with whispers, then the looks. At a restaurant, the waiter forgot their order 3 times. When Marcus paid the bill, the manager followed him out, making sure he didn't accidentally take the pen. Emily tried to brush it off, but Marcus saw the shift, the hesitation in her eyes, the way she scanned the room before holding his hand. Then came the photos. Someone had followed them and posted their pictures online with cruel captions. She downgraded. "He's the charity case. Stay in your lane." Emily's ex saw it all, and he loved it. His plan was working, just not how he intended, because the more hate they faced, the closer Marcus and Emily grew. But hate has a way of pushing back harder when love dares to resist it. One night, Marcus walked Emily home. A car slowed beside them, its headlights glaring like accusations. The driver leaned out, a familiar face. Emily's ex. "You think you're something special?" he shouted. "You're just a pawn, man. She doesn't love you. She's using you, same as I did." The words hit hard, but the silence after hit harder. Emily didn't speak. She didn't deny it. Marcus stepped back, his chest tight, trying to read the truth in her face. Later that night, his phone buzzed with a message from a blocked number. "You forgot your place." Attached was a photo, his apartment door taken just minutes ago. That was when Marcus realized this wasn't just jealousy or revenge. It was a warning. Someone wanted to remind him exactly how dangerous it was to love someone the world said he wasn't supposed to. And as the night grew colder, so did the feeling that this love story was about to turn into something darker. Marcus woke up to the sound of banging, hard, relentless, angry. It was past midnight. He opened the door to flashing lights and the echo of voices that didn't ask questions. They demanded answers. "Step outside." "Hands where we can see them!" He froze, confusion turning to dread. His building's hallway filled with neighbors peeking through cracked doors, whispering. He hadn't done anything, but he didn't need to. Someone had made sure it looked like he had. The cops shoved him against the wall, shouting about suspicious behavior and about a reported threat. Marcus barely heard the words. His mind raced. Who called them? Why now? Then he saw it, a figure at the end of the hall watching from the shadows. Emily's ex, smiling. They found nothing, no weapon, no reason. But still, they took him in, because in that moment, his skin was reason enough. In the holding cell, the truth settled in like cold air. He'd been set up. All for loving someone he was never meant to. Hours later, when they finally released him, Emily was waiting. Her eyes were red, her hands trembling. "I didn't know," she whispered. He told me he'd stop if I just left you. Marcus stared at her, every muscle tense, every emotion colliding. Love, betrayal, rage, and exhaustion. He took a step back. You let him decide what I deserved, he said quietly. She reached for him, but he turned away. The city lights flickered outside, reflecting off wet pavement, each drop like a heartbeat fading into silence. As Marcus walked into the night, a voice in his head whispered the truth the world kept trying to bury. Some people don't want to see love win. They just want to see it disappear. But what they didn't know was that some love stories don't end. They rise from the ashes. Marcus never saw Emily again. She moved away quietly, leaving behind an apology that couldn't undo the scars. The world around him didn't change overnight, but something inside him did. The man who once kept his head down learned that silence only protects the ones who never have to fight to be seen. He quit his job, packed his things, and started speaking out, telling stories like his own. Not for pity, but for truth. He stood in community centers, schools, and online spaces, sharing what it felt like to be used, targeted, and silenced, all because love dared to cross a line drawn by hate. And the more he spoke, the more faces he saw nodding in quiet recognition. Different people, same story. Marcus realized his story wasn't just about him and Emily. It was about a system that teaches people to fear what they don't, understand and punish what doesn't fit their version of normal. He still walked through the same streets, still passed the same looks. But now when people stared, he met their eyes. He wasn't invisible anymore. He carried the weight of every man who'd been told he wasn't good enough, every woman who'd been warned to stay in her place. Because love shouldn't have to apologize for the color it comes in. So when Marcus asks his audience one question, the room always falls silent. If the world can learn to hate what it never tried to understand, what's stopping us from learning to love what we've been told to fear?